Hi, my name is Alex and welcome to the Crochet Circle.
So what I will need for this much bigger pumpkin is a much thicker yarn. What I opted in was spaghetti yarn, or it's also called a t-shirt yarn. Now on the label it did say it needs a 4 to 5 millimeter crochet hook, but I found it a bit too small for me. So I'm actually going to be using an 8 millimeter crochet hook. If you cannot find any t-shirt yarn or spaghetti yarn or textile yarn, you can also make your own, because if you have any old t-shirts lying around, you can just cut them and make a long strip and then tie it together, and you're gonna have some yarn. Now the pattern is gonna be the same as it was for this pumpkin and also for this pumpkin. Of course, the difference is only the yarn size and the crochet hook size. So let's begin. Um, this is my yarn. I'm actually gonna put it on the floor again. I know I shouldn't, but it is what it is. So the pattern again is really easy to make. So in the beginning I'm gonna make some chains. Actually I'm gonna make 24 chains, and then all the rest of the rows are gonna be the same. Each row is gonna be done with each row is actually gonna be started with the chain 1. Then I'm gonna do 2 single crochets, 2 half double crochets, 16 double crochets, and at the end again 2 half double crochets, 2 single crochets, and the row will be done. And let's begin with row number 0. Now row number 0 is chains, and I need to do 24 chains. Now this is my slip knot. I'm gonna just do it again. I put the yarn around my finger, go from the bottom, grab the working yarn and pull it tight and secure it. That's it. Now I need to do 24 chains. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I have 24 stitches here, 24 chains. Now let's go up to row number 1. Row number 1 is the same as all the other rows. Chain 1. Now because I'm gonna be doing this on top of the chains, as you can see here, each chain has a bottom loop, a top loop, and a back loop. Now all the things I'm gonna be doing on top loops, or in the next row where I'm gonna have double crochets, single crochets, and half double crochets, I'm gonna be using back loops only. So in the top loop or in the back loop, in the second stitch from the hook, I'm gonna start with a single crochet, another single crochet. Now I need to make 2 half double crochets, and again all this is done in the top loops or on the back loops, depending on how you see it. Now I need to do 16 double crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10. Now only the first few rows are gonna be, you know, twisting and twirling around. Once you will have a rectangle, it's gonna be much easier to work. So I was here at 10, 11, 12, now 13, 14, 15, 16. Now if I have the right amount of stitches, I should have 4 chains left. So 1, 2, 3, 4, perfect. Now I have to do 2 half double crochets, so that's 1, 2, and I have to do 2 single crochets in the last 2 stitches. Now that's row number 1 done. I'm gonna show you just one more row how to do it, and then I'm gonna skip till the end. So I'm gonna be you're not gonna have to suffer here with me crocheting, because I already did a video tutorial from the start to finish how long it actually takes, but this time that I'm actually using a much thicker yarn, I'm just gonna skip the middle part because it's 28, 27 rows that I'm gonna do, and you don't have to, you know, you can do it at your own pace and at your own free time. But I am gonna show you at the end how to join the rectangle into the sleeve and how to make a pumpkin out of it. Okay, back now to my row. Row number 1 is done. I'm gonna do a chain 1 because each row begins with a chain 1, and now I have to do the same as row number 1, 2 single crochets. And you see what I've done because I wasn't paying attention? It has to go into the back loop only. So I have 2 loops here. That's the front loop, that's the front loop, that's the back loop, and I have to go through the back loop only, so only through this one. So a single crochet through the back loop only, another single crochet through the back loop only. Now I have 2 half double crochets again through the back loop only. Now I have 16 double crochets, of course, through the back loop only. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now that's 10 double crochets in the back loops only done. I need another 6 more because altogether it's 16. So 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Now that's 16 double crochets in the back loop only. Now I need to do 2 half double crochets in the back loop only. So that's 1, 2, and now I need to do in the last 2 stitches 2 single crochets, of course, in the back loop only. Okay, so I have now 2 rows done. I'm gonna leave you here. I'm gonna fast forward because, you know, you're gonna do it when you have time. I just want to show you the beginning, and now I'm gonna skip to the end. So now that I've done some magic, actually that I've done 29 rows, it's time to do the last row, and then I'm gonna show you how to join the pumpkin together. Now let's switch back to my crochet hook. Now each row is still the same, so even the last row it's chain 1, and then in the back loop only I do 2 single crochets, so that's 1, 2. I do 2 half double crochets, so that's the first one and the second one. Now I have to do 16 double crochets in the back loop only, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, that's 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 'I need 2 more, so that's 15 and 16. Now I need 2 half double crochets in the back loop only, so that's 1, 2, and the last 2 stitches are 2 single crochets in the back loop only. And that's it. I have my 30 rows done. Now all I have to do is join together. Now how I'm gonna do that is I'm just gonna pinch those 2 sides together, and you can either do a single crochet or a slip stitch. So I'm gonna be doing, actually in the last tutorial I showed you how to do it with the single crochet, so now I'm gonna do it with a slip stitch. You can see the bottom parts of the chains much nicer, so I'm gonna be putting my stitches in those loops. Now the first one is gonna be here, and I have to go through my single crochet and through the chain of row number 1 and do a slip stitch. Go through both loops of the single crochet and go through the bottom loop of the chain 1, grab the yarn and just pull it through. So that's a slip stitch. Don't worry if you're doing single crochets here, it's the same, because this is gonna be the back side of the pumpkin, so it actually, you won't see anything how it's joined together, but I'm just doing slip stitches in this one. You can also do single crochets. So it's just joining the front, actually the last row with the first row with slip stitches. And here with a much thicker yarn, you can much easier see the loops of the chains. And through the last one. And that's it. So now I have a sleeve. So I have a sleeve. I'm gonna take a bit of a yarn, about a meter of it. Got it. Now I'm gonna do chain one and just pull the yarn through. And this is secured. So this is the inner side of the pumpkin. I have to turn it around. And this is how it looks. So you actually don't see where it's joined. Now what I have to do is I have to go through these stitches here on the top and kind of pull them together. So I have here a plastic needle that has a hook just big enough for my spaghetti yarn to go over. So now I have to go through those upper hills, just joining them together, and then in the end I'm just gonna pull really tight together, and hopefully I won't have any gaps. If I'm gonna have any gaps, I'm just gonna use this yarn that I have here and sew it together. Okay, and now that I'm back at the beginning, I'm just gonna pull real tight. Hopefully my yarn won't break. And I'm gonna actually make a knot here, so I'm gonna be pulling much easier. Okay, well, that was the starting tail anyways. So what I have to do now is get my needle and kind of close this gap. I'm kind of doing a cross as much as I can, so it actually fills up the space. So I go diagonally across it, grab one strand and pull it. And I think that's gonna be fine. I just need to hide away now this end tail. How I'm gonna do that on the back side, and now just make a knot. Actually 2 knots for just in case. Okay, now the top part of the pumpkin is done. Actually it looks like a hat. So that's the top part of the pumpkin done. Now I need to fill it, and then I'm gonna join the bottom part together as well. But for the bottom part I'm gonna take some new strand of yarn, because I'm gonna again pull it really tight, and hopefully this time my yarn won't break. So yeah, Fiberfill. It's a big pumpkin, so I need a lot of this. But what I do want is, you see the end tail of before, I want to kind of have it in the middle, because at the end, when I'm gonna finish with the bottom part, I'm gonna pull it together, and then you're gonna kind of get this pumpkin shape. So try having it a bit in the middle. Just put the stuffing around. Okay, so my pumpkin, now the end tail is looking through. Now, in the previous video, I just used the same tail to sew together the bottom part. In this one, I'm gonna take a new one, because I do want to regulate how tall actually this pumpkin will be. So about a meter of it. If I will find my scissors now. Okay. And let's go back with the needle. And again, I'm just gonna go through these, I hope you can see it. I'm just kind of grabbing, actually no, I'm gonna be grabbing this one loop of yarn that you kind of see it in every second row, and perhaps when we pull it together, it's gonna come together much nicer. So I'm just grabbing the last stitch, just one loop of that one. I don't know why I didn't think of it before, but sometimes you do have to not improvise, but just try finding a solution on the way. Oh yeah, this is gonna be much nicer, and I think it's gonna be much easier for me to pull it together. I'm gonna go one more. That's just perfection. Oh yeah, that's perfection. I want to make a knot. Now this is the end tail of the previous one. This looks much better, so it doesn't matter because this is gonna be the bottom part. But yeah, when you're gonna be doing it, I am gonna put it down in the description below. Just use the last loops of the stitches. So this is it. I do kind of want it. No, it's fine. Now I have to see how much of a squash I want on my pumpkin. So I just take the end tail of the beginning and this one and just tie a knot, and wherever the knot will be or how tight the the knot will be, so much squashed your pumpkin will be. So I think that's all right. So I'm gonna make a knot now here. Oh, I'm really sad that I didn't see this solution for the first time when I was doing it, but at least I'm sharing it now with you. So yeah, grab just the last loops there. Okay, so as you can see, I still have quite a lot of yarn inside, actually yarn left over, so I'm gonna use a crochet hook and just try pulling it into the work. So that's how I will also get rid of the knot. Now I'm just stuffing all this in. Now if you don't have a hole this big, just cut the yarn or do it this way, that you kind of grab it and pull it. So this is how you hide it in. And this last bit I'm just gonna cut. Okay, so this is the bottom of the pumpkin. I know it looks so much nicer than the top of the pumpkin, but don't worry about it, because I found some foam clay somewhere in my drawer, and I took some green out and I made like a pumpkin stem. So what I'm actually gonna do is I'm gonna use a hot glue gun and glue it onto the pumpkin. If I'm gonna find the hot glue gun, be right back. I found my hot glue gun, so now I'm just waiting for it to get warm, so I'm gonna be able to put some hot glue on the bottom of the stem and then just glue it on top of the pumpkin. So I'm still waiting for it to heat up, but what you can also do is, I know it's a bit too long of a stick, but you can just cut the stem size off and perhaps put a stick as your stem. This one looks good, but I think I'm gonna go with the green. Now what you can also do, you can also crochet the stem. Now if you would be using this kind of a thick yarn, then just use my pattern. If you're gonna be using much thinner yarn, then just make more rows of the base and that's it. But yeah, I'm gonna be using this stem. Oh, how I hate hot glue guns. Okay, I think it's gonna be fine. Let's go. Okay, that's it. Now I just have to position it. Now that's a make or break deal, so hopefully it will work. Okay, I think it's gonna be holding on. Yeah. Okay, so I have all my fingers in that thing. Yeah, look, it's holding, so I guess we're done with a nice, huge, ribbed, rustic pumpkin. So I hope you enjoyed this video. This one was a bit shorter because I cut out, I don't know, was it between second and 29th row? So yeah, I did 27 rows on my own. I just showed you how it's done. All the rows were the same. So you didn't miss a lot and you just do it at your own pace. Now, as I said, for the stem, you can use, I used some foam clay. It was the first time I was using it, so I was kind of, uh, yeah, I was scared if it's gonna work because when I was trying to form it, it was always kind of oozing down, but at the end it kind of got a nice swirly shape for the stem. Now, if you don't have this, you can use normal clay or you can use some stick, wooden stick, or you can use green or whatever color you want yarn to crochet a stem. But I think that this pumpkin now is done and it can definitely go on a porch because it's so big and it's gonna be seen from far away. Now, just before I'm off, I just want to show you all the rest of the pumpkins. So this is now the huge one. This one was the original pattern where I showed you how to make the stem and how to join it and everything else. So the pattern is the same. Now I have 4 more. This one was when I was testing the pattern, so as you can see the stem is not so nice, but it still has a nice shape. Now, this is one of the yarns that I usually use when I'm testing out stuff, so this one already has a stem much better. Actually, I can show it here. The stem is much better. Now, I made another one, so this one was made in rounds. It's single crochets, and then I kind of just pinched it together. Do I like this one? It's okay, but it uses so much more yarn and so much more fiberfill to get it into the shape, but I like it anyway. Now, this is the smallest one. Perhaps you already saw my YouTube Shorts video, but I made this little one. This is gonna be a pendant, so it's gonna be somehow around here. And I'm just gonna show you even on the closer. The same pattern as this one, the same pattern as this one, just the only difference is I was using embroidery thread and I was using actually 2 strands of embroidery thread and a 0.75 millimeters crochet hook. Now I filled it with Fiberfill and I filled it with the glass bead just to have it to get some weight on it so that the pendant will be nicely hanging down. Okay, so this is now all the pumpkins from me. This is the masterpiece that I've done today, actually over the course of a few days because I was cutting and slicing and doing the rows on my own. If you enjoyed it, let me know. If you have any questions, comment down below and I will gladly answer it. And until the next time, I'm gonna say happy crafting!